That is the last time that I ever let the horny one take us on a world expedition. Jeez. What is wrong with you, Detroit? You know, I kind of wonder if other group leaders have this kind of problem. Hey, friend, it's Dr. Detroit here. The doctor is in. So let me go ahead and fill you guys in. I just came back from a little fun evening with a couple of friends of mine. Those friends will remain nameless, but they know who they are. Well, at least I hope they know who they are. And, well, sometimes in friends groups, or you know, in your little type friend circle, there's always that one guy who is the leader. He's the one who, you know, knows what to do, kind of keep you entertained, but also, you know, helps you to relax, especially after a long day at work, or maybe, you know, somebody that you enjoy seeing. But sometimes it's important for the group leader to allow for some of the other friends that are in the group to lead the way themselves. Unfortunately, though, not everybody is considered a group leader, or even has the ability to even lead a group. So that's why, in this Vrchat 101, I'm going to give you folks a couple little hints and tips on like how to be a good group leader. And I don't mean like groups for like game shows or anything like that. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe I will lump those in together. So I guess this is more about how to be a good leader, whether it be in a friend group that you have, or a group that you own that does special events. I think this is going to be a fun one, because I think a lot of people just don't want to give up the spotlight, and also don't trust anybody to basically give the reins off to. So we're going to dive right into it in a little segment I like to call Leader of the Pack. Cool title, and it's also a song by I believe the Shangalas, I think. I'll have to look that up. Roll the intro. As far as I'm concerned, there have been group leaders here on VRChat since maybe the dawn of the game itself. Every friend group has some sort of leader they'll basically put their friends in the right direction, or come up with some really cool things to, you know, play or do, or, you know, whatever. Every time that you and your friends log in each night, it's consists of a lot of different things. Sometimes it could be just simply hanging out, or it could be some games, or it could be something else. The only problem is, though, is that some people don't know when to give up the reins, or pass it off to somebody else and let them lead for a little bit. Because you know what? You can't just take all the credit, okay? You gotta make sure that you spread a little bit of credit in your friend group. I don't care how many people you have, whether it's like 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe even as many as 10 or something like that. So I think we gotta go to the red board and kind of like illustrate for you folks a little bit about it, but also give you a couple of methods to, you know, consider. So, heading to the red board right about. Wait for it. Now. Wait, this is the red board! Was that fall really necessary? I was trying to get us over to the red board. So let's try this again. Over to the red board, right about now. There we are. Finally in front of the red board after I took that unnecessary fall. And hello, Mr. Foxy. Good to have you here again. Oh Christ, you're starting to shed. Alright. Future me, remind myself later on to give this guy a good brushing after you're done editing. Thank you. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull out a pen. Let's go ahead and pull out this white one. White for white chocolate. Okay, so, in being a good group leader, first things first is that you need to know who exactly is in your friend group. And there's usually about, you know, a bunch of different people, but there's usually about 6 or 7 different types. We're going to focus most of our attention on 4 of them. So, let's go ahead and draw this circle here. So, this is the leader. Go ahead and write that out really quickly. So, this is the leader. And then down here, this is the RHM, which is the right-hand man. Or also too, you can even put them as like 2IC. A 2IC is second in command. Then you have your other members, which usually are like the like just simply, you know, the good friend. And put that in really quickly. Now we'll just go ahead and say good F because I ran out of space here. So this is, you know, you guys. Go ahead and put smiley faces on here so it doesn't look like there's zeros. Boink, boink, boink. And then we have the ones that I'm just going to say they are the writers. There we go. So there we are. And then here are the writers. Okay, so let me go ahead and move this pen over here. So as you can see, now there's basically 4 different types of people that are in the friends groups. Now, the leader might be you, might be some other people. Usually the leader is either the oldest person there, or in some cases is the one who started this whole friend group in the first place. Their responsibility is to make sure that all the other members of the friend group, you know, are happy and, you know, doing just fine and, you know, enjoying life. Now, if the leader can't be there, in comes the right-hand man or the second in command. These are the people that you absolutely want to, you know, put next to you, excuse me. And they're the ones that you can easily trust with your deepest, darkest secrets, or to also lead the rest of the people when you're not around. A good right-hand man is usually somebody who has a great friendship with either the leader or with one of the other folks here. Now, sometimes second in command oftentimes will get a little bit crazy, because sometimes you have another friend who thinks they're second in command. So kind of spread the wealth a little bit if you can. Then of course you have the good friends and the writers. The good friends, they're the ones that, you know, are good friends of either the right-hand man, second in command, or they're a good friend of yours, but they kind of don't show leadership skills just yet. They kind of don't know where they fall into. And the writers, well, they're the ones that usually just tag along for the ride. And they don't usually want to lead anything. But there's a few things you gotta keep in mind. Let's see. Okay, I didn't bring up a red pen, so I'll go ahead and use this blue pen. Alright. Blue for my fur. Anyway, so up here in terms of leaders, you want to have at least maybe 1 to 2 really good people to lead the way in your little friend group. Then right hand man, same thing again. Usually about 1 to 2 of these, if you can help it. Good friends, I'm going to make this kind of the infinity symbol, or just that weird thing, because it doesn't matter how many good friends you have. You always want to keep those around. As for the writers, well, see, this is where it gets a little bit weird, because I'm going to put a question mark here, because oftentimes these folks are the ones that kind of bugger off when you want to go do something. But here's a few things to keep in mind. I love the fact that I love black spikes, don't you? But anyway, when you have all these different people in your friend group, it's very important to make sure that you pay attention to every single one of them and see, like, how they're doing. Because the last thing you want is that you don't want to create a friend group where it's just nothing but, good friends and a bunch of, right-hand men, which sometimes turns into yes men, and then have these folks down here be non sequiturs. I have seen it so many times where leaders only talk to the higher ups and never to these folks. In fact, they oftentimes call these people peons, which is never a good thing. And besides, you're not a peon, and no, good friends don't pee on other friends. Keep that in mind. So anyway, let me also say this about all this. It's always important to kind of like listen to your friends and listen to kind of like what their likes and dislikes are, because then you can figure out a group event that you want to do. Now, we did talk about events in our Do This Not That event edition, but that's a little bit different, because that's only if you are organizing a ginormous event for not only your friends but also for other people that want to be part of your group. This is if you just have a friends plus or a friends instance, a private instance, and you just want to do something fun with them. So here's a couple of good examples. Let's go ahead and let's actually erase this a little bit. Let me grab my green pen here. Green for guacamole. And well, okay. For starters, there's really only 4 different ideas that you could do. The first one, and this is my favorite one, is world exploration. So I'm gonna go ahead and put world EX, so World Explorer. And why does it in the camera look like it looks so weird? Hang on a sec. I'm all discombobulated today, unfortunately, but I knew that you guys wanted a Vrchat101, so I did not want to disappoint. So let's try it again. So here we go. A World EX. Okay, we'll go ahead and do it like that. That's more like it. So a world exploration. Totally fine to do. Totally fine to do. But maybe somebody wants to just host a hangout. And hangouts are, pretty cool. You can go to any world that, you want to. Another thing is that there's also the games. You can see here. And then maybe the other one, maybe you want to do, well, maybe you want to do some karaoke. Let me just go ahead and write out sing, because I can't be bothered to spell the word karaoke. So, we already have 4 different things that many friend groups do. Now, most of the time, it's hangouts. Now, hangouts are fun. Hangouts are pretty cool because it allows you to, kind of like get to know your team, get to know everybody that, is is literally in your friend group, but it also gives you a chance to kind of unwind, after a very busy day, or maybe a sporting event didn't go your way, so now you gotta come on here and kind of vent to people. But keep this in mind. Hangouts get really repetitive after a good long while. Because even though a hangout is fun, you want to make sure that you keep these fresh as a daisy. So here's a couple of things to keep in mind. I think we're actually going to run out of space here, so let's go ahead and use this side for the subtitles. So, to keep things fresh for hangouts, you want to make sure that you go to different worlds. Don't just stay with the same world, 24/7. Go explore. Go check out these different worlds. See if they're like, PC only, or, Questy friendly, or, a good mix. And you know what? It's always fun to do a little bit of, world exploration to find the good ones and the mean kind of ones. And then you can save the ones that, you like. Another thing too, maybe spend a little bit of time just exploring. Like, try out all the different features. Try out everything on the world. See what the world has to offer. Is it a good one? Is it a bad one? Is it not optimized? Or is it full of lolly and weeaboo crap? Which, of course, we talked about a while back. But again, it's always important to keep yourself... Oh, there goes my microphone. Hold on a second. Something fell at the bottom of the camera. Let me just make sure I got this. There it is. Okay, let me just fix it right there. There we go. Okay. You guys can't see it, but I got a microphone down here, off camera, just in case my main one off screen doesn't pick up my sultry voice. Anyway, back to the business at hand. Another thing to keep in mind is what kind of genre is the map under. Is it vaporwave? And also keep an eye out too, because not everybody is going to want to do, something like, like that one world, Ghost Motel, which it's a pretty scary world, if you know what I mean. But anyway, and then of course, last but not least, when it comes to hangouts, it's always good to find yourself a nostalgia world to just kind of bring everybody to. Nostalgia worlds are essentially old worlds that we used to visit way back in time. Probably even before the days of when we had a headset, for crying out loud. All of us were desktop users at one point, right? So, sometimes there might even be one of those worlds that you go back to, and it was one that helped you through depression, or maybe even helped you get your feet wet. Who knows? Then, of course, when it comes to games are kind of self-explanatory, because it could be game shows, or it also could be regular games. So keep an eye out for those kind of game worlds. But avoid the most common worlds like Murder 4, Freeze Tag, and Zombie Survival, because people use it all the time. I cannot tell you how many times I've been to other people's friends groups, and I think, oh cool, they're gonna do something. What are they gonna do? Only to go back and play Murder 4 for hours on end, or to decide to go to another world where they decide to just simply shoot the shite, but it's all just about avatar creating, or something that you can't even jump in on. Because you know what too? Sometimes, and I talked about this before in a previous video, sometimes those groups are there to help you vent. So keep an eye out for those, and of course with the games, just make sure that you go to different games to kind of spice things up. And of course karaoke. Karaoke's a lot of fun. I mean, karaoke's cool. You can go to Karaoke and Sync, and they have the guitars up there, and you can put in YouTube links as well. I love going there a lot. Even my older cousin Gemini, who appeared in the Astro Boy Express not too long ago, he likes to go there too, because that's actually where he performs a lot of his sets, especially if he's got new songs and things like that. So definitely check with these people if they want to sing. 9 times out of 10, These here love to sing. But then, these folks down here hate karaoke. They don't like it. That's not how they roll, and they're just gonna come by, listen to one song, and then all of a sudden, they're gonna be long gone, and probably going off into a fat world instance, or maybe they're just gonna go bugger off into a NSFW world. It just kind of depends on what happens. Now, if you still don't understand it, I think it's probably time that I use another visual of some sort. So you know what? Let me do this. Let me actually go off screen here. Oh, here we go. Okay. So, let's pretend for... Jesus. Why did I suddenly sound like Michael Jackson there? I guess that's my 34th time hitting puberty. Anyway, so let's pretend that this is the ball right here. This is metaphorically the ball that I'm talking about. Because there's also the pass the ball method. So you always want to make sure that you know when it's time to pass the ball to somebody else. So, for example, and this is a big example, let's say you're the leader, and then you go, "All right, everybody, I kind of don't want to lead right now because I just want to relax. So who wants to take the lead?" So you pass it to somebody like this. Thank you, nephew. Just like what he illustrated, when you pass the ball to somebody else, you hope that they have a good idea. Me, I represent kind of the games area. I enjoy a good game every now and then. Because you know what, sometimes playing a game helps out. Something like Cards Against Humanity is always a good one. It tickles the funny bones as well. Another one too is Audience Anarchy or Audience Freestyle. Freestyling and hilarity always works out in a very cool manner, you know. In fact, it's just what the doctor ordered. However, some people don't want to play a game, and instead they want to kind of want to explore different worlds, such as this guy. Thank you, Uncle Bones. As a world traveler myself, it's a lot of fun when the world travelers get to take over the reins or collect the ball. I love to take my friends everywhere I go, and to all the different places that I've been to back in the day. I love to take them to worlds that represent Italy, Greece, Germany, so many other places that I have been to in my own series. And, it's also important to have some knowledge of all the different places that you visit. Sometimes you may even want to go ahead and go check out those worlds yourself before you send somebody else. Now, of course, who doesn't like singing? and so, karaoke events are even cooler too. So you have to pass the ball over to the singing one. Here, catch! Ooh. Easy on the throw there, Arlo. I'm only a squirrel after all. Karaoke events. Lovely, lovely events. There you can sing your heart out and sing to many different songs. As a matter of fact, when you put somebody in charge of those, you never know what's going to happen. Now, I know that some of you probably shy away from them because you think, "Oh, I don't have talent, I can't sing, do. Well, here's an interesting question for all of you. How is it that you say that you don't sing, yet you can bellow the words to When Doves Cry by Gemini without missing a beat? I mean, answer me that. Or maybe you know the words to one of those stupid Wicked movies or something from, Frozen. See that? I called some of you out. But above all, it's best to make sure that your group leader knows exactly what to do. So here, my friend. There we go. So yeah, that represents a few of the different groups that you want to keep in mind. By the way, too, major thanks to my buddies, Dr. Uncle Bones Posar, Arlo, the Traveling Nardo, known to be my brother, my younger brother, and King Elias Acorn, who is actually behind the camera right now filming this whole thing. How cool is that? So now that we have covered quite a bit about, being the leader of the pack and everything about, your friend group, now is a good time to kind of like test this out. See how some of your friends react to certain worlds and certain things, and see which one ends up having the best leadership skills, or has the best skills to basically drop a portal down and take you on a magical journey wherever you want to go, to play a game, to sing your heart out, or just to find a different hangout world. I know this episode was probably a little short, and one that, didn't really have as much, learning material as some of our other episodes, but bear this in mind, everybody. This is being filmed at a weird time where right now things are a little bit hectic here at the studios, but don't worry, everybody, nothing bad. It's just that we're gearing up for a lot of, big projects coming very soon. One of those is one that I am really excited about because it'll be put up on my friend Astro Boy Productions channel. And I think you guys are going to be really excited about that. We're still in the writing stages and everything. Plus, we're also still filming a bunch of different things. And, Arlo needs my help. So, there you go. But that's going to do it for this episode of Vrchat 101. If you guys want to see more of these, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to comment down below, because I love reading your comments. And also subscribe as well. I think I'm almost to like 250 subs, and I would like to get to 300. So let's see if we can get that push going. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. And until then, take care.